perfect game alerts, a comeback for the ages, and a throwback from a legend, and some ninth inning heroics, all on the next 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. Let's get into her.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversation going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more for this 16th day of August, 2025. Time flies and you're having fun. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP over there at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we're part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all their great podcasts and articles. And I read a great article this morning from Eric Katz, writer for Belly Up Sports. It's about the over-romanticism of George Steinbrenner. We've talked about that in the past. And yes, Steinbrenner had some very good years, obviously, with the Yankees in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. And then, but there were a lot of lean years that people tend to forget about. The positive outweighs the negative when it comes to old Stein. But the Boston didn't have a great start. Yeah, there were some World Series years, but there were a lot of years where there was a lot of empty seats, a lot of managers getting fired. Billy Martin, how many times did he get told to thanks, bye, see ya? So it's a great article from Eric, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Maybe I'll find it and put it in the show's notes or something here. But anyways, if anybody says the game of baseball is boring, they sure weren't watching the sport last night. It was something to behold, right from the major leagues, right to WCBL and Little League Baseball. And another friend of the show, the Captain's Corner, Ryan, he's in Williamsport right now. He sent a picture from Twitter, or I posted the picture up on Twitter that he was there. So it was good to see people enjoying the great game of baseball on all facets. Anyways, like I said yesterday on yesterday's show, if you listened, I was going to sit down. I was going to watch the Cincinnati Reds and Milwaukee Brewers game last night, but the Milwaukee Brewers, and see if the Brewers could get to their 13th consecutive win. But lo and behold, it's one of those Apple broadcasts, and I'm like, I'm done paying. I'm done. Okay, this is gonna be a positive show. I'm not going to complain about anything, but here's my one complaint. I am not anymore paying for any of these one-off games. I'm just done with it. Okay, I'm over it. I couldn't even watch the Jays game last night. And I live in Canada and the Rogers and blah, blah, blah. But that was a game, another great ball game that most of the people who are like me are done paying for this, for these different apps and all these different things. And on it goes. I just done. Or I might actually have it paid for, but the subscription stuff, I get old. I've had a couple beers, whatever, and I just give up on it. So I just don't know how, because I think I have it, but I'm done looking for it. If I can't find it hitting one button, I'm done. Okay, I'm over it. I pay for the MLB app. That should be enough to get every game I want. I shouldn't have to go get another one and another one and another one. Okay, there it is. There's the negatives out of the thing. But the Brewers, they had quite the comeback last night. That's something. It was down 7-0 early. I was following on the app, couldn't watch it, but I was following on the app, and they're down 7-0 early as well. There goes that winning streak, and it only took an inning and a half, and they were back in the game. Christian Yelich had himself guys. The Brewers are kind of onto something. You see a team come back like that, and from everything I read this morning, Yelich was saying, "We're not going to lose this game. We're not losing this game." Players Weekend, he had a Bob Uecker bat, which was kind of neat to see. He's been waiting for a year to display that one, but it was the Brewers come back, storm back. They won 10-8 last night to continue their hot streak. 13 in a row is nothing to sneeze at. And you think that there's something brewing here with them. I didn't even say that. There's something going here with the Brewers, and you get these kind of games that you know you're going to win, and you know you're going to put together something. And 13 in a row is nothing to sneeze at, nothing at all. And it's good to see a mid-market, smaller market, 20. I think they're 21 in payroll, so it doesn't always pay to pay, right? So it's good for the Brewers won that that game last night and continue things going. And I'll see if I can't get a Brewers game on here. I got 4 TVs down here. Somehow, some way, I got to get the Brewers game on here today just to see what's going on in Brewers land. Maybe I'll have a chat with old Vince Stover from the Sports Stove and see what his take is. He's a big Brewers guy, and see what his take is on this Brewers team that's just flying and can't do anything wrong. 13 in a row. That's tough to do in any league, let alone the big leagues. And then the Jays game, like I said, couldn't watch that. They got nothing. They're flying too. And that team, I actually have Scott Belford from the Walk Off podcast. He was on a couple years ago. He's joining me on Monday afternoon, so that'll be up on Monday night. We're going to talk about how great this Jays team is, and Alejandro Kirk, how he's the Tijuana Titan, as I've labeled him. How he's just gotten everything going last night. Got his first career stolen base last night. Always something to behold when a guy that size can steal second base, uncontested steal of second base too. And they were rolling and rocking in Toronto, and they got the big comeback win, down 5-2 in the 8th, I think, and ended up winning 6-5. Kirk had a home run in the 7th, I think, to kind of get things going. Things weren't looking too good for the Jays, and they're just going and they're flying in Toronto. It'll be good to talk to Scott on Monday about what's going on in Jays land and the positivity that's coming out of that stadium. And it's always better when I've said it before and I'll say it again, when the Jays are relevant and the Jays are flying. Baseball is a better sport in this country. More people are watching it. More people are having a good time watching it and everything else. And they realize that baseball is not boring, and because it's not. Last night was the antithesis of boring. I think I used that word right, but it was something to behold. All the great things were going on in the game of baseball last night. Now, actually, I'll get into that right now. I kind of get it when people say that baseball is boring, but last night just alone, I know it doesn't happen every night, but you get a perfect game alert or a no hitter alert comes across your phone, and yes, there's not a lot of action sometimes, but every pitch matters. Not Black Lives Matter, but every pitch matters, and the strategy that comes along with a pitch and how a ground ball can end up going through, or how you move a runner over, and how the thought process of baseball is. And I know I hack on football quite a bit because I didn't grow up playing the game. It never really grabbed onto my ears or anything else. I watch it because you're supposed to, and I enjoy Saturday afternoons and college football immensely. But the way the game is the way they break it down on TV, and it's almost it isn't fun how everything is, and you kind of have to have the sound on for that to make it interesting. Baseball, I don't have to have the sound on to catch on to what's going on. I could watch a game and you can go, okay, this could happen here, this could happen there, and because I'm a baseball dork, I guess that it's fun. It's always fun for me. But last night, seeing those comebacks and then seeing that perfect game alert, and you just go, okay, what's going to happen here? Because I watched the 7th, and I watched the game. It was 2 out in the 8th when the soft single too. And I think if the Brandon Young, the pitcher, we'll get into him in a second. Brandon Young, the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, if he would have just, like, it was a soft hit. If you watch it, maybe I wish I could get. I know how to get replays on here, but I don't like doing it. It takes too much time. But Brandon Young, the pitcher, was going. He was 0-6 to start going into last night, not having a great season. A rookie, 26 years old, I think. But he was going to his left. I think if he would have just stopped and planted and made that throw, I think he would have got the guy out at first base and would have got out of the 8th and into the 9th to get to hold the perfect game. But it's funny how guys swing their asses off and the ball goes 250, 300, 320 feet, and it's just a fly ball out. Where this guy swung his ass off, and it just a little number, and ended up in the perfect game and broke the hearts of Orioles fans and baseball fans. I mean, if anybody sees a perfect game, whether it be live in the stadium or on TV, that's something you remember and you talk about the next day. And it was really fun to watch. And you watch between innings how no one was talking to him. The obligatory don't talk to the guy, don't leave him alone, just let him do his thing. Don't put any weird thoughts into his head. And it was happening last night with Mr. Brandon Young of the Baltimore Orioles. He got pulled in the 8th. They finished the game 7-0 over the no good Houston Astros. It was really fun to watch that. And there's always you wonder, like, and that's another thing I like about the game of baseball, that I love about the game of baseball, is that could happen on any given night. And there's 15 games or 16 games a night, plus the minor leagues, plus. There's always that slim. There's only been 24 or 25 perfect games in the history of Major League Baseball, but there's always that slim chance that the perfect game alert could come up. I mean, every game starts with nobody on, nobody out, and no walks, no runs, no hits, no errors, and then you just as they go from inning to inning, and around the fourth or the fifth is usually when I start going, hey, there's something going, or they get through the second time in the order, you're like, hey, there's something going on here, there's something. So it's around the sixth, I guess, is when you really start paying attention. But I even in the fourth, I'll go, hey. There's no one on base yet. I'm not saying they're going to be a perfect game or a no hitter, but you kind of, hey, this is kind of neat. This could happen here, and that happened last night in Baltimore. And then like that, just the way the games ended up going last night. And then another. Okay, we'll get into this one too. That it was going to be it was actually the only game I got wrong yesterday in Brent's Best Bet, brought to you by Bodog. It was the San Diego Padres going up against the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers had lost 4 in a row up to that point. And I should have looked at a little more deeper into the pitching matchup before I made my prediction for that Dodgers Padres game. But I just figured that the Padres were due, and they're flying a little bit, and the Dodgers are battling it a little bit. But of course, my big gums got going, and Clayton Kershaw, he had a night for the ages. Went 6 strong innings pitching. Went 6 strong innings. I know he's a pitcher, but just hear me out. Kershaw, he went 6 strong, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, and and he did it by pitching. He doesn't throw hard anymore. He doesn't. He has that big curveball still, and he's smart, and he's a wily veteran, and he competes. And the guy's obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer. The guy's a living legend, pitching legend. He's got the legend of Koufax. Of course, Koufax is before my time, but to me, this is the greatest Dodger pitcher of all time. I don't think that's disputable. The guy has done everything right. Take away his postseason hiccups over the years, because they're well documented. There has been many, but what this guy can do on a nightly basis still. He had a great matchup a week and a half ago or a week ago against Max Scherzer, and that was a couple of old wily veterans battling at it, going at it. And then Kershaw goes out last night and puts together the kind of night that you need out of your starter or need out of a veteran guy, 18 years in the big leagues and plus the minor leagues and on and on and on. So the miles are all there, but the grit and determination, and the guy throwing 89 to be able to do what he did last night just by being a pitcher. You don't have to throw it a million miles an hour. You don't have to overpower everybody. You don't have to do this, that, and the third. You just have to give your team a chance to win, and that's what Kershaw did last night. And the Dodgers, it's one win that doesn't the season make, but it can turn things around. It can help a lot. You get those wins against your division rival, team that you're chasing. It can only be a good thing, and that's what Kershaw did last night for his Dodgers, and it was fantastic to see him go out and do that and give the Dodgers a chance. And you hope that something like that can turn the Dodgers season around. I mean, they're, like I said, yes, they'll be fine. But when your team's battling a little bit, you need to you need those old vets to say, jump on my back, let's go for it. And to see a guy do it for maybe, who knows, might be the last time he does it. He might come out and up next time and pull a stinker. Who knows? But when you see guys turn back the clock like that, and that's something you like about sports in general. When you see guys turn back the clock and give it one last try or one last effort, and that kind of crap happen or stuff happen. I shouldn't say crap because it wasn't crap at all. It kind of reminds you of that Kevin Costner movie For Love of the Game, when he got that perfect game, and he had that one more game in him. They were the best team in the world for that one night, and it was just fantastic to watch that and see him get it. And that it was just an awesome night of baseball. I capped my night off. I was sitting around watching. Well, actually, I gave my Flow Sports. That's a streaming service that the WCBL uses, and for the Lethbridge Bulls, I gave my because I think Joe and Ian for Alberta Douglas Stars, I think they're just cheap and they don't want to get it. But anyways, I gave Joe McFarland, great guy. And if you don't read Alberta Douglas Stories, if you're an Alberta person, just a baseball guy, read Alberta Douglas Stories and Saskatchewan Douglas Stories and listen to their podcast too, because they got a lot of great stories about the journeys that people go on, how much great baseball there is in Western Canada, and just the baseball world. And there are a couple of they're self-professed baseball dorks as well. So anyway, so I got a hold of Joe. He was at the WCBL final, listening or watching the game live. So I just wanted to make sure that I could use my Flow Sports account, because I didn't want him to miss the game. But anyways, because only one person can use it, and blah blah blah. But anyway, Joe was at the game, and it was a game for the ages, and it was fantastic. battle back and forth. And I thought Sylvan was going to wrap it up last night, but lo and behold, they didn't. In the ninth inning, 2 out, 2 on, 2 strikes against the batter, and a ground ball that probably could have been played a bit differently by the Sylvan Lake second baseman ended up being, I'm not going to say an error, but he didn't play it overly well. And the guy from second scored to tie it up. And then Regina came back to win the game 10-6 and forced a deciding game 3 for the Harry Hallis, the coveted Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy that goes out the WCBL champion. And it was a fantastic. And that's another thing why you like the game of baseball. Anything can happen at any time, and no matter what field you might be on, in front of, there could be 200 people there, there could be 20,000, there could be 5,000, there could be 40,000. Anything can happen in the great game of baseball, and that's another thing that could those guys are big leaguers for a night, right? And it's their night to win a championship. Some of those guys won't come that close ever again. A ground ball out should have been maybe if this guy's playing a shade to the right to start the at bat. You never know. And just there were some calls that maybe didn't go Sylvan Lake's way or Regina's way throughout the night, and kind of all the way it evens itself out, and the way the game can even itself out on the field was a true testament to these two teams and baseball in general. How the game usually takes care of itself. It's not very often where you see an umpire's call really decide a game and change the fortunes of the game. Has it happened in the past? 100%. Has a guy gotten screwed on a 0-2 pitch that's outside and called for strike 3? 100%. It's happened. But has it changed the outcome of the game a whole bunch? You'll never know. And that's the great thing about baseball. You'll just never know if that one call is going to change a game, or if that one situation can change a game, because you got to get the 3 outs, or you got to get the base hit, or you got to do this, you got to do that. And we were, me and some of the Bulls coaches were texting back and forth last night, little group chat test. And I'm a smart people bunt guy. And I was saying they should bunt here and bunt there. They're Regina did, and they kind of ended up getting a bunt with a wild pitch in the ninth that moved some runners over that changed the outcome of the game. If that guy doesn't move over to second, it goes second and third is a lot different than first and second. And it's just how that changed the way the game was played. And that's the great thing about baseball. The little things matter. Every single game, the little things matter. And the way the action doesn't, it slows down, but it doesn't slow down to a crawl. There's always something that's happening as opposed to the game of football where between the whistles and not the incomplete pass, and that's exciting. A guy runs for 2, right on it. To me, it's just not. It's not really a thinking man's game, and it doesn't get my competitive juices flowing. Everybody's different, and everybody watches the game differently, and I understand that. Jim Fan of the Van's a baseball guy, and he's more and more so a football guy, and he gets revved up. And there are actually Cigar and Sports, so I'm going to tune into that somehow, some way tonight in between my baseball watching. They're always watch listening to Jim and E-Man get going and their unique way of delivering the news in the world of sports. Unfiltered to say the least. But anyways, the game was great last night, right across the board. And I really enjoyed just watching the game. And it's not because Deanne wasn't here. It's because I had an opportunity last night for the first time in a long time to just sit and watch some games. And that's what I really miss doing throughout the Bulls baseball season. I don't get a chance to just sit down here and put three or 4 games on, and plus have it on my phone, and plus on and on it goes. It's always it's just a lot of fun to partake in that and watch the games, how they unfold. And it could be 2 teams that don't matter, and something great could happen. Because the Baltimore Orioles, I hate to say it, they don't really matter right now. But for one night, for one shining moment, Brendan Young was the best pitcher in baseball. A rookie pitcher having a tough season. He was the best pitcher in the game, and he had a chance to throw a perfect game, and he was right there, and it was so close to being right there, and almost got it. And you just wonder like how that's going to change his career around. You wonder if it will, or was it just a one-off? Was it just luck and things were working well? Did everything just kind of happen for him that night? We'll never know. I mean, there might be a look back 10 years from now and say, yeah, that was the night that he became a big league pitcher. Then when he really felt that things started to turn around for him. Will he end up being a Clayton Kershaw? Because Kershaw had a night for the ages last night. Is that the last time you'll see that kind of event from, or that kind of outing from Kershaw? We'll never, like, it's coming to, the days are dwindling down to a precious few for Mr. Kershaw, and he was one of the best in the game last night. a complete throwback to what we're so used to seeing that happen. And not very often you get a chance to go out on top. And if that's one of Kershaw's last outings, probably 4 or 5 starts left this season. If all things go right, you never know. Could read something this morning that his elbow's done. Or that he's going to be once all the pitchers get healthy for the Dodgers, they're going to just he'll be a spot starter. Where is he going to be in the playoffs? Is he going to be working out of the bullpen? Well, it's tough to say. But last night, Clayton Kershaw was one of the best in the games, and it's crazy. He was the second best pitcher in baseball last night for last night's games, right? And you go 6 strong, 2 hits, and 1 run, pretty damn good. But when a guy goes 1 hit, perfect game into the 8th, that's something to behold. It's just such a great game. It's so great to watch. And like I said, people who think baseball is boring, they really don't have much going on between the ears. It's a thinking man's game. There's no doubt about that. And if you understand it, last night was the perfect night for baseball. And I wasn't going to tell this story about the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and I'm not cheering against the Gulls to win their first WCBL championship, but I'm not cheering for them. Yeah. I'll tell the story. Their coach, and I actually, you know what? I'll premise it. I'll preface the story. Their general manager and of the and I can't remember. He's got 1,000 titles. WCBL everywhere's a bunch of hats to keep their teams going. General manager, merchandise, blah blah blah. You do a lot of different things. You don't just do one thing. But anyways, Akil Samuel is one of the really good guys in baseball, and he's the general manager of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So I shouldn't say that I don't want the Gulls to win, because if Sylvan does get one, then great, good on them. But I got a funny story. A few years back when I was still umpiring in the league, in 2022 or I can't remember, 23. Yeah, it doesn't matter what year it was. But I was umpiring a game in Medicine Hat between the Mavericks and the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and it was it was hot. It was a hot Sunday afternoon. Probably, I don't know, 95 degrees, whatever that is, in 35 or whatever it is in Celsius. But it was really, really hot Medicine Hat day. And one of the very first batters for Medicine Hat, I think it was the second or third guy in the lineup. He got clipped in his jersey by a pitch that was out of the strike zone. Barely got the guy, and the guy went down first base, and he kind of came back and he goes, "It barely got me." I said, "Well, no, you still got to go to first base. Like, you got to go. That's the rules. You get hit, you get hit. It doesn't matter how." He goes, "Come on, I want to hit." I said, "No, you got to go. It's not." And he's laughing. He goes, "Okay, I'll go. So anyway, so Jason Chatwood, the head coach of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, he barked something at the bench. He goes, "We're not doing this, are we, Brent?" And I kind of gave him the stink eye, looked over, I ignored him, and he goes, "You heard me. We're not doing this already, are we, Brent?" And I said, "Yeah, we are doing this." He came out and he said something to me, and he goes, "It didn't even. If it hit him, he wouldn't have asked to come back." I said, "Chatwood, he wanted to get his at bat. He was kidding around. He tried to fool me, and he went back. He went down the base knowing he got hit. Don't like." And I told him to shut up and go back to his dugout. He says, "We're not doing this all day, are we, Brent?" And I said, "You're effing right. We're not doing this, Chatwood. Get back in the effing dugout." And that was the last time me and Mr. Chatwood had a conversation of any substance. So to say that I'm not really a Sylvan Lake fan is an understatement, I guess. I'm not cheering against him, but I'm not cheering for him to win the coveted Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy in WCBL land tonight. So it's all going to wrap up, and then get going at it another. You start Monday morning and get back at her. I got some ideas for a different third jerseys for the Bulls coming up this year. It has to do with I won't give it away, but we'll have some discussions later on. But yeah, that's it. That's just a great night of baseball. Make sure you watch some games and give the Little League World Series a chance and watch them all. Like, just take it, and they will get off. I'm over romanticizing this, but maybe I'm not. The great thing about baseball, and one of the great things about the great game of baseball, is that everybody has played it in some capacity at one time or another, whether it be in your church group, school, in kickball, belly ball, blast ball, little league, little league, right to American Legion. Everybody has played it some way or another. Some may not have been good. Some may have done it once. Some may have been pretty good. Some may have stunk. But everybody has had the capacity to play the game and has played it one way or another. Not everybody's played football. Not everybody's played hockey. Not everybody has, I guess most people have tried a game of basketball in junior high and elementary school and that kind of stuff. But not everybody plays hockey, not everybody plays football, but everybody's played baseball, and everybody can play baseball, and everybody has that shining moment. Me and Aaron were talking about some of ours the other night about our little league moments and things like that. But everybody has that one shining moment where they made a catch, or they hit a ball, or they made a play, or there's double play, or they hit a double, or a co-ed slow pitch tournament that they won. And everybody has that opportunity, and baseball brings that out, and you remember when. Baseball is all about moments, and there's so many great moments that happen in the game of baseball on a daily basis. So people who knock the game of baseball saying that they aren't the same, they're not. The game is better, would get better than it was 20 years ago. It's not. It's still baseball. Round ball, round bat, you got to hit it square. Is it a different game? Have analytics taken over? Yeah. But at its purest form, at its most simple form, it's still baseball. And nothing really changes. Nothing changes a whole bunch. You still gotta put the ball in play. You still gotta throw strikes. And no matter what, if that guy 60 feet 6 inches away doesn't throw that little white ball over the plate, nothing can happen. And when it does, it could be mayhem. It could be magical. It usually is. You get a guy like the Tijuana Titan, Alejandro Kirk, stealing a base last night in front of 40,000 screaming fans in Toronto, while the rest of the country couldn't watch it. I was quite shocked actually when you're used to the Jays being on here, right? And then it's not on. You go, oh, it's an Apple game, and I'm not doing it, or I'll find out how I can do it. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure I have it. I just don't do it. The game of baseball, it's something else. Anyways, we'll get to Brent's Best Bets by Bodog right after this commercial from our friends over there at Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky. All right, Brent's Best Bets brought to you by Bodog. If you remember, if you're going to Brent's Best Bet brought to you by Bodog. If you're going to play responsibly, and know your limit, play within it. Brent's Best Bets brought to you by Bodog. Today I got the Mariners over the Mets. The Mets are just going to they got beat last night. It was 11-9, and the Mets are just the Mets, and they're going to be the Mets, and that's just who they are. And it makes me laugh actually that people thought the Mets were going to change because they signed Juan Soto, but they're the Mets, and that's how it is. But that's enough about that. Then we got the Yankees over the Cardinals, the Brewers over the Reds. We got the Brewers continue their win streak. They're going to get to 14 after tonight, and then the Rays are going to beat up on a terrible Giants team. So we got a 4-pack for you. Put down $20, you win yourself $214.67 over there at Bodog. Mariners, Brewers, Yankees. Yankees going to go for 2 in a row. Who knows? That's probably the kiss of death from a Yankee fan. And the Rays. $20 gets you $214 over there at Bodog. Know your limit, play within it, and if you're going to play, make sure you play responsibly over there at Bodog. That's it. That's the Saturday morning edition of the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk, and a whole lot more. Enjoy the games, everybody. It's been a great it just was an awesome night of baseball, and I hope we can get a lot more of those. And whenever you listen to this, make sure you bug me about it, because it was a lot of fun. Right from Little League World Series, right to the WCBL, right to the big leagues. It was a night for the ages. A lot of great things happen. That happens on a daily basis. So people who don't give baseball a chance, take off your tinfoil hat and watch it. There's more to life than screaming at a football screen. There really is. Baseball's a great game. Talk to everybody later. And remember, everybody, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have a great Saturday and enjoy the games. We'll talk soon. Thanks for tuning in to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer and sports talking a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best of sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcast. Let's get in.